Like checking out what this thing did. So you're up. You're up, Avaniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said something else.
Yeah, I
Alright,
was looking up
I am
something.
going to
Looking up rules, you know, those
draw
things that
my
we don't need to do in D&D next.
gonna
Ha
draw
ha ha
my
ha.
sunblade again and hit this guy. No. Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna draw my sunblade. Two-hand that shit.
Okay.
Put the longbow down.
So
Oh,
you're
I
gonna
can't
two-hand
two-hand it.
this?
I can't two-hand it because it's too the handle's not big enough.
I thought it was a bastard sword. Or counts as a bastard sword.
No, counts as a short sword.
Oh.
You can use it if you're able to use a bastard sword or short sword proficiency. Likewise, weapon focus and weapon
This
set and
sword is the
special edition.
size of a bastard sword.
It's
But it
wielded
can
as a
be
proficiency.
wielded as though you have a short sword. Or as if it were a short sword. With respect to
Yeah.
weight and ease of use. You should be able to use it as a bastard sword. With two hands.
Okay. Feels and reacts as a weapon. Okay, because it's telling me
It's telling you can't on...
that I can't wield it in two hands because it's wielded as though it's a short sword.
Alright,
But I
well, I'll
can.
tell you what. Go ahead and just make the adjustment yourself. Because you should
It'll
be
still
able
make the
to.
adjustment for me. It just gives
Oh,
me
okay.
an error telling me that I'm cheating, basically. But it's like I think
Because it says it's wielded
that
as if it
it
were a
needs
short
mirrored in
sword.
the rules.
Yeah, it says it's wielded as a short sword in respect to weight and ease of use.
Yeah,
So, like, it's still the size of a bastard sword. Like, you know,
yeah. I
enough
think
grip
in
to
the
be able to
spirit
grab
of
it.
the rules, it would make more sense if I could wield it with two hands
Yeah.
because it's the size. The hilt would be big enough since it's the same size as a bastard sword. So I'm gonna wield it with two hands.
Okay.
That is gonna give me plus 9 and do 10 plus 5 instead of plus 4. Okay, so d20 plus 9. Got a 16.
Okay. A 16 is sufficient to hit.
7 damage.
All right. Is that including the two-handed bonus? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you slash this thing across the head, like taking off both of its ears and part of its scalp, actually, but it still remains standing. Do you have a second attack yet, or not yet?
Not with melee.
Okay. All right. Casper's going to be up, and he's going to try to attack the same creature. And he jabs his sword out at the thing, and it just like kind of bobs and weaves out of the way. All right. So let's see what else they do. Okay. Okay. Caspar. All right. The thing jumps up and it tries to claw at Caspar, but he gets his sword up to defend. But the other claw comes down on his sword arm and rips at him. He then bites that arm as well. So Caspar's going to take a total of 5 damage. The other cat attacks you, and it rakes you with one of its claws kind of pitifully, and it only does 2 damage. And it tries to bite at you, and ends up like slipping on the trunk of the tree. And it's actually going to slide like this. So you're going to take 3 damage.
Okay. Oh, 3 damage instead of 2.
Yeah. Caspar's going to take...
What was the one other damage from his bite?
Yeah.
Okay.
27. Okay, Caspar's still got good health. Alright, so it's going to slip, and it's going to try to make a roll. Okay, but it slips off the tree, but it catches itself.
So it's like claws are digging in the side of the
Yeah.
branch.
Essentially.
Okay.
All right, so that one already went. So you are up.
Hmm.
Them ones.
Since it was slipping and not moving on its own, I wasn't able to make an AOO, or how does that work?
What's up?
Since it wasn't moving on its own, does that mean I wasn't able to make an AOO on it?
No,
When
you
it's...
can't.
Okay.
Yeah. It
I'm
was
gonna move
just a
up.
nat one. It's like it loses its balance essentially on this tree when it tries to jump up and attack you.
Okay. I'm
So
going to... Can I try to kick it off the branch?
you think it would probably be more effective to try to use your weapon if you were trying to accomplish that.
Okay.
You know, it's
I'm
you
gonna...
see the villain all the time, stepping on the hero's hands when he could just pull out his gun and blast his brains out.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah,
take a
but I
bat
think
and
if
hit his
someone was
hands.
holding on to the side of a thing, it'd be more effective to just kick him in the face than it would be to try to swing your sword at them. Unless you got down on your knees and were like, poke them with the sword.
Well, but I mean, like you could go ahead and like slash their hands off also.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah.
I'm gonna do that then. I'm
Okay.
gonna attack it.
All right.
Um,
Since it is flat-footed, like it loses its dex, you're trying to hit a 13.
okay. Boom with two hands.
All right, that is a threaten. So if you want to roll again.
Boom.
All right, that succeeds.
Okay. Boom. 13 damage.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you chop at this thing and you just hack off its arms and it falls down, spraying blood all the way down to the floor far below, and it hits with a sickening thud. So that one's dead. All right. Kaspar, seeing this, is going to redouble his efforts and attempt to attack again. And that is going to be sufficient to hit. So he gives the creature a good poking in its shoulder. Does a little bit of damage, but the thing seems not too concerned about it. All right. But it is going to attack Kaspar back. All right. It misses again with one of its claws, but once again Kaspar falls for the trick, and he tries to defend the first attack only to get hit by the bite and the claw afterward. So Kaspar has a decent amount of blood coming out of his sword arm. Avaniel, you are up.
Okay. I'm going to bring my sword down on this guy's head with two hands.
Okay.
Arch it over my head. Bam.
Go for it.
Indeed.
25 is sufficient.
Oops.
All
Wrong
right.
damage. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that's...
There we go.
Okay, well, that is enough. So you chop this thing, and you hit it, and you can just see, like, magical essence pour out of it, along with the blood, and it just falls off of the tree into the ground below. And it will be dead. The bird that is cowering at the corner kind of moves cautiously towards you as you finish this. And it goes, you don't look like you're from the Fey Court.
Sniff. I'm gonna be like, oh, a bird that talks. I guess that's usual in these parts.
Goes, usual in these parts? What do you seen many talking birds around here?
One other one.
He says. Seems, well, that's pretty odd. Usually they're only part of the court if they're able to talk. It's through King Brightseater that we're able to be given speech and sentience. Says, what are you doing there? Who are you?
We were actually seeking an audience with King Brightseater.
Kaspar goes, Careful, Avaniel. It's a bird that talks.
I go. Well, we did just help it. So I'm gonna see if it. Um, I'm gonna be like, we were actually seeking an audience with King Brightseater, but one of our friends got split up from us, and we're trying to find our way out of this tree.
He says a friend?
Yes, one of our group.
Says, can say that I hadn't seen you when I was traveling around the woods, but I suppose that could happen. He goes, what? So you were looking for King Brightseater? Or, like,
Yes, I believe that's where our friend would be heading to seek an audience with him.
why do you seek an audience with the king?
Well, initially,
He seems more curious than he is, like, suspicious.
initially we helped some creatures of the Fae that were being devoured by Dragon of Swords by slaying the beast. And they just told us if we were ever in the area, feel free to seek an audience with the king. So when we came here and tried to do so, we were not expecting it to be so difficult and dangerous.
As well, I can say that the Fae are a fickle kind. Um, and usually the king takes no orders from any but himself. Uh, well, I suppose. Did you try to get in contact with the king when you entered the woods? He usually has pretty good sentience over this place. At least that was my understanding.
We did. We seemed to run into some type of fairies that seemed to have a short memory for what we would tell them.
Oh, Alvaro. Yeah, he's on duty, isn't he? Yeah, he forgets a lot of things. He's he's a fool.
Yes, he
Sorry you
uh,
had to deal with him.
he would tell us, "Oh, I'll be right back. I'll go tell him you're seeking an audience." And then he would forget that he even met us before, or that we even asked him, it seemed. I thought it might have been multiple fairies, but doesn't seem to be the case.
He says, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry, but I can't take you to the court myself. I'm not really allowed to go there without being summoned. And I mean, you guys helped me out, but I can't promise that King Brightseater would take your good graces on me as proof that you're in the best interest of the Fae. But I can take you kind of close to there. I might be able to drop you off at the cabin of the Puck."
Okay, that sounds helpful. Maybe we'll be able to find our friend that way since he was heading also to King Brightseater before we got split up.
He says, "Well, actually, do you have the ability to help me out?" He like indicates his wing that's kind of messed up.
Hmm. I can bandage your wounds. Uh, I have no magics that can heal this. I just used what I did have, as you saw.
Uh, does Casper have one? I think Casper has a wand.
I think he was using Jeremy's wand.
Oh
He was
yeah, he
untitled.
was. Okay.
Yeah.
He goes, that is kind of difficult. He says that I guess we don't really have any option. He says, we'll go ahead and camp. He says, maybe we can camp inside the tree for the night. I'm guessing you already fought off the Wolverine that was in this tree, huh? He got kind of scared by these things.
Yes,
Indicates the other
we
things.
had to dispatch it. It was aggressive.
He goes, all right, well, my nest is a little bit further up the tree, so we can rest there until we're ready to leave.
Okay.
Okay? All
Thank
right.
you for helping us. Uh, Things in this area don't seem so far to be very helpful.
Says the Fae are usually fairly helpful depending on who you talk to, but they're very mischievous and, quite frankly, fairly selfish.
I have a question. You said you were part of the court.
Says I'm not part of the Fae court, but I do run errands for them every once in a while.
Do you ever remember if the family, the Wildweeper family, having any?
He says, "Oh, I've heard of them before. They're way before my time, though."
Oh, what?
A
Where'd you
knowledge
meet
nature
her?
check.
Okay.
It's not that hard a check to make. Yeah, it's a bird, so obviously it doesn't have a lifespan that would allow it to know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I
it's
wasn't
heard of
sure
them.
if it was a bird or if it was like Tele, where it was a person turning, or I
This
mean a
looks
fake.
like this appears to be an actual bird.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be like, well, maybe we could speak more.
It's a
This
spotted
if
blue
that's
poppy ribbon. You can get 3 wishes if you break its neck.
what? What is that even from?
Nothing. Just fucking bird watchers, you know? They just have like
Oh,
ridiculous names for birds sometimes.
yeah.
Alright, so what are you gonna say to him after he says this to
Let's
you?
get to the area where we can rest on this tree so I can see about licking my wounds and
He says, if you do get access to the court, I'm sure that you could ask some of the people there about the Wildweepers. I still hear about them every once in a while, though not much about them. It seems like they've been gone a long time from the Feywood.
indeed.
He goes, all right. So we're going to actually just zoom forward. You're going to go ahead and get to the nest, and you're going to be resting during that time, okay?
Okay.
So you
Can
can recover.
Caspar help me rest?
He helps both you and the bird.
Awesome.
Okay. So go ahead and you can heal your health for the day. That's where we're going to conclude your solo session, okay? And then we can
Okay.
pick it up again at another time, all right?
Sounds good.
As for your experience,
6.
you are going to get...
So 14 plus 12, 26. Nice.
As for your experience, you're going to get 2,000. Okay?
All right.
All right.
2,000. What does that put me at? Journal. Add new session. Journal session. Session 42. What is this one called?
Yeah, today's kind of a short session, obviously. I just wanted to get you in a place where you can, you know, get where you were supposed to go.
What is the session called?
This one we are going to call... rotting in a tree.